Charlie Kirk was shot by Tyler Robinson. We now know that he followed different circles. That he did. They say he was a Groyper. But what the feck is a Groyper? I hope I can explain it here. You see, the extreme right, they kind of cross over, but they are following different paths. There are similarities, but their end goals are not the same. For instance, the Groyper, which is a term given to those who follow a Nick Fuentes. Oh my God. The man who pushes misogynistic, racist, xenophobic rhetoric online. But you see, they have different goals. Those that consider themselves as Groypers, and those who consider themselves as so-called conservative, maybe Christian nationalists. Now they do cross over, there are some similarities, that there is. But their end goals are not the same, no. Now this reminds me of a program that was very, very successful, called Adolescence. And it did extremely well. And oh my God, it made some people wake up to what's going on in schools, you know, where a young boy is thought to be an incel, or bullied as such, is indoctrinated so deeply and effectively bullied online with memes and emojis, which have subtle image connotations, and so subtle that we wouldn't necessarily understand as the adults or the parents. We hadn't have a clue what is going on. But they're there. And those that are in that realm, following people like Nick Fuentes, they understand. It's not just Nick Fuentes, it's also Andrew Tate, etc., etc. That kind of ilk. Now, Andrew Tate's end goals are not the same as a Groyper, though. No. Now, you see, a Groyper believes in no redemption. There's no turning point, such as Turning Point USA. There is no changing the course of action, just accelerating it, speeding it up. So they stoke fear and stoke aggressions, accelerationism. They find the fissures in society, such as race or creed. They drive in the wedge, that they do. Speed it up. And hasn't it been sped up recently? They are kind of hoping for a dystopia, not a utopia. They want to see everything destroyed, not to fix it, but just to revel in the spectacle. Black pill accelerationists, which kind of, overlap with the Christian nationalists, whereas these so-called black pill accelerationists, they believe in, how's it go? An America first. That's what they believe in. And they believe in fatalisms and everything's going to end, and sort of stoking the crisis to speed up what they consider as the end game. It's dark. Really dark. And they communicate in different ways. Get the Christian nationalists like Charlie Kirk with his Turning Point USA. He wanted to change things for what he considered the better. I don't, quite frankly. And you could argue he kind of also stoked some of the fissures for which black pill accelerationists do, no, Ferentists would do. They create this divide. But the goal's different. Christian nationalists want to break everything so they can rebuild it in their own image and what they consider to be the utopia, not the dystopia. They want to take control of the courts. Does that sound familiar? Mm-hmm. They want a system in place. You're voting and all that, you see, but geared towards Christian nationalism. A hierarchy that is extreme religion. Which is the thing I don't really understand, because a lot of the stuff that they advocate for rarely goes against the Bible anyway. It makes very little sense, although there's some pretty awful stuff in the Bible. But they believe in restoration, revival, sovereignty, renaming the public square Trump. You know how it goes. It's a different idealism. It's a different outcome. So what is worse? Obviously, the Groypers in many ways. But both are fucking terrible. Both. We'd want to see the left completely and utterly destroyed. So, Tyler Robinson, who is said to have shot Charlie Kirk, is an incel, is one of these Groypers. Now, the Groypers, they communicate differently. So you got Charlie Kirk with his events, which are very public events. The Groypers, they communicate sort of like on the dark web. They communicate through imaging, through subtle messaging. A bit like the use of the frog. I can't remember what it's called there. Geppy the frog, which is actually supposed to be a sort of more of a left-wing character, but it got completely and utterly raped, really, by the right. And it's used as a symbol of, well, I suppose, of right-wing nationalism. You see, unless you're in the scene, you're not going to understand the messaging, the memes, and the subtle differences within the messaging itself, whether they're using emojis or whether they're using actual images with words and without words. You have to kind of be in the scene to understand it and to stay within that scene, that black pill accelerationists cult, I suppose. Unless you're actually in that, you ain't gonna understand it. And if you start faring out of it, you can't get outside the cult, and you are then excluded from the cult. So you have to keep up, and it becomes a drug to these people. They get indoctrinated because it is something that consumes them. And when you see these programs like Adolescence, well, it all becomes clear. It becomes clear what is going on. You know? Yeah, it does. And it's that's where we're heading, unfortunately. Because it's not something that we can really stop, not without some kind of proxy, you know, where everything is filtered online, or just getting rid of these platforms that are hosting this kind of stuff. It ain't gonna go away, is it? And then they'll just find another way of doing it. Maybe they go back to old technologies instead of online, you know. So anyway, that's kind of what the Groper scene versus Christian nationalism. One wants to break it so they can fix it in their image, and the other one just wants to break it so they can wallow in the spectacle. What they consider as inevitable. It's like the only path. It's like the end is nigh. Kind of shit, you know. Anyway, well, yeah, please click the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I hope I got that right. I think I've understood it. You know, if you think I've got anything wrong, please leave it in the comments down below. I've seen from what I've been reading, so I hope, yeah, like I say, I hope I got it right. If I haven't, please let me know. Leave it in the comments down below, or maybe you can add to it. You know, I do read the comments, and also we've got a nice little community going on there, so it'd be good to get some feedback, I suppose. But anyways, please, people, like I say, people that like, but maybe subscribe to the channel, little bell icon, because then you get one fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. See, the reason for this video was try and help people understand what happened. Why did Charlie Kirk get shot? Well, he wasn't in the Groyper scene, basically. There you go. Anyway, it's time for me to go, so I'm going to say toodaloo, you know, and just like to point out, it wasn't the left that shot Charlie Kirk. Okay?